Hey everyone, it's Nelson Miller here with PA Creative, and in this week's tutorial I'm showing you how to move the Divi audio module image from the normal position on the left side to the top. So we're moving that, the podcast or whatever audio image thumbnail you have from the side to the top. So let me show you this. I'm just going to hop over to this demo. Right here is how it looks by default. It's always, cropped, and content is object fit cover, and now it's moved to the center like this. And if you had multiple columns, it would already look like this, but the way we're doing it is if it's just one audio module in one column. Or I'll get to another reason why we are doing this. If you have a carousel of audio modules using our plugin, the Divi Carousel Maker, then this is required in order to get it to look right. So that was kind of the inspiration behind it. But let's go ahead and jump right in. I have screenshots here showing you before and after and what we're trying to achieve. So what inspired it was right here. When I went to add audio modules to our carousel maker, it looked like this, and you can see in the screenshot that's not very good. And the reason it looked like that was because it didn't realize that it was in 3 columns, and so it was putting the image on the left side by default. There's no other setting for that, and so it looked really terrible. And then I had to figure out with just a little bit of CSS how to make it look like this. And look a lot better. So that's what we're doing here. That was the inspiration, and but it will also work in a situation where it's just like one like that, right? Okay, so step number 1, add a custom class name to the audio module, and that's just because we are targeting it with CSS, so we need to know which audio modules to target, and that's going to be the ones that have this class, and we're using PA audio image top. So go over here, and I'll just go ahead and work right in this one while we're at it. So I'll go in here to the Advanced tab, and in the CSS ID and classes toggle, paste it right there. Now I already have the CSS in here, so pasting it for you won't do that effect. Let me just get rid of my code for now. Great, so now we're on a level plane surface, right? All right, so next is adding the actual code that I just removed there, but that's okay. So this code is, it's doing several things, but it's making the cover art, which is how they describe the image. It's making it 100% wide and setting an absolute height. So a height of 200 pixels is in here. Now you could change that. It's doing a background size contain rather than the default, which is the background size cover. And since we are moving it from the left to the top, we need to set a margin left on the rest of the content to 0, because normally there's actually margin left to account for the image. And then we can put an optional padding top. All right, so copy the entire thing, and for you would want to put it in your theme options or in your child theme. And you could kind of see already where I was working in here. I was just putting it in the page settings because I'm just doing a tutorial demo, but you would want to put it in your theme options. Okay, so what it's doing here, in fact, we could even just walk through it. If I didn't have the width, it's putting it over like that. Okay, so we need the width. If I didn't have the height, it just disappears. Now I could change this height. Let's say I want to make this 500 pixels or 400 or 100. See that? 200 was just like an average for me that you could change. You need it to be position relative, or it's going to do that. Okay. And the background size contain, if it didn't have it, it would do that. So that you can kind of see the reasoning behind moving it. If I didn't have the margin left on the content, it looks like that because it thinks the image is still over here. And then this padding top, see that? It wouldn't work to go into the module spacing like you would expect. So if I would put like padding top something here, whoops, I put 1,000, okay. It's only going to apply it like below this title. It's not actually going to put it above the image, okay? That's why we had to use the code in order to achieve this. So that is as simple as it is. It's adding the class and adding this code, and then hopefully that makes sense why I added the code and what it's doing. So here you could see it in a one column layout. Like again, if you don't do this tutorial, by default, it will make it on top. Now, if I was to change this one, let's experiment here. What if this was 2 columns or 3? Now I could duplicate it and it would look like that. Similar to this, but with, it's a little bit different. So you may still want this even if you're doing multiple columns. Now the other use case is if you have our Divi carousel maker, it makes carousels out of regular modules. Here it is. So I have 111 demos or so here, but here it is. So you can see these are literally just audio modules that have been made into a carousel by our plugin. And I can scroll through here and, play each of these audio files, whatever, are added to the module. So there you go. That's why I did it. And this is a good use case or example for using it. Okay. And while I'm thinking of it, you could also use the Divi Dynamic Helper plugin that we have to get your audio into the module. But anyway, enough of those plugs. All right, so there you go. Nice quick tutorial, but really cool. Something that you can't do in Divi, but is really not that hard to do with CSS. And hopefully you enjoyed seeing what each bit of the CSS did there as well. All right, so we do this every week. We do a tutorial. So if you subscribe, this is what you get, something related to Divi, WordPress, that kind of thing. And I hope you enjoy it. Give me a thumbs up, that helps the algorithm. Comments help the algorithm. And of course, sharing my tutorials whenever things come up, like in Facebook groups, all that good stuff. You can join our Divi Teacher Facebook group if you have not already. And we'll see you all in the next video.